Hey, what's up guys? My name is Jasper at ngayon maglalaro tayo ng Spider-Man Remastered for the PC. And I still remember buying a PlayStation 4 para lang malaro yung Spider-Man game na officially being developed by a first party studio which is from Insomniac. And hearing the news about it, I was super pumped kasi I grew up playing Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro for the PlayStation 1. And grabe, I have a lot of good memories playing that game. And naalala ko pa rin the first time I was able to web swing from building to building. It was just simply mind-boggling. I've been always a huge Spider-Man fan. Naalala ko pinanood ko yung Spider-Man 1 with my tito. We watch it at SM Mega Mall yata, and I remember yung sinehan ay fully packed. A lot of people, and me and my uncle, we had to sit at the floor. Naalala ko, suot ko pang shorts ay yung shorts na 101 Dalmatian. At umupo ako, basa agad yung shorts ko, basa agad ang brief ko. Dahil meron na buhos ng soft drinks sa sahig. But that's fine. Nasa loob na kami sinihan, nanood na lang kami, and that's when I fell in love with Spider-Man. That's like my first true exposure of Spider-Man, because ever since before that, I've been always a Batman fan. And yun, I moved to the Marvel space and then I fell in love with Spider-Man. Kaya ngayon, maglalaro tayo ng Spider-Man PC Remastered. This is the first Spider-Man PC game, I believe, since The Amazing Spider-Man 2 na nilabas like 2014 or something like that. And yeah, i-boot natin at try natin laruin. And of course, nandito tayo sa New York. And grabe lang talaga itong larong to. Naalala ko, nag-call in sick ako. Nag-take ako ng vacation. No, hindi ako nag-call in sick. Nag-take ako ng vacation leave for 1 week. On the first day, kung saan nilabas itong larong to, para lang malaro ko siya in that 1 week at matapos ko yung buong story. And that's what I did. It took me like 3 to 4 days para tapusin ang buong story, pero at the same time, I was super happy with how the game turned out, because yung swinging mechanics, like, oh my god, it reminded me a lot of my medyo failure na, of my PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 days. Unfortunately, I am not one of those people who was able to play Spider-Man 2, the official video game for the Spider-Man 2 movie. No, hindi ko nalaro yun. Which is actually a funny story kasi ang nangyari doon, yun dapat ang bibiling ko para sa PS2. However, kasi bumibili ako ng mga piratang PS2 games eh. So, pumunta ako sa Riverbank, which is a mall sa Marikina in the Philippines, of course. Binili ko Spider-Man 2 game. Pagka-uwi ko, naging gulat ko bakit iba yung yung design sa mismong bala. Yung cover kasi Spider-Man 2 pero yung design ng bala ay parang cartoon na Spider-Man. Turns out yun ang larong Ultimate Spider-Man.
There are friends. And enemies.
And so basically my first open world Spider-Man game ay Ultimate Spider-Man. And that was my Spider-Man 2 compared sa iba, which is Spider-Man 2, the video game, ang best Spider-Man game nila. Sa akin, Ultimate Spider-Man, that game brought me a ton of memories. I never tried. I wasn't able to get a chance to play Spider-Man 2, the video game for the PS2, because around that time, I I just stopped playing Spider-Man games for a while. And yeah, that's something na I'm not sure if it will be better if yung ate ay binigay sa akin yung bala ng Spider-Man 2. Pero, I was actually happy with Ultimate Spider-Man. And that was also my first proper exposure to Venom. If I kung tama yung memory ko. It's either that or it's either my first exposure of Venom was the Spider-Man 3 movie, pero that was 2007. And yeah, grabe lang itong larong to kasi I was also a big fan of the Tony Hawk games, and whenever you're like web swinging, it just simply feels like you're skating. You have your own sandbox, you have your own playground, and this is one of those rare games where you don't need to fast travel because it's simply super fun swinging around the city. And let's just talk about like the gameplay itself. It's like any one of those typical open world games na medyo Ubisofty, because in an open world there's like a lot of stuff to do. You have a lot of collectibles to do, like the backpacks. You have to do the Harry Osborn missions, and then you also have to go into towers, which was popularized by probably Far Cry 3 back in the day, and now every other open world games is trying to do that. And I'm very thankful na medyo umiiwas na sila doon. I think it was probably I forgot ko nung laro yun, but it was a Ubisoft game where they stopped doing the climbing up the towers thing, and then para ma-unlock yung isang section ng map, they stopped doing that. Hopefully it will be the case because I'm a big fan of exploration. I would rather explore and naturally discover something than having to go to a tower and then let the tower tell you that you can collect all of this stuff inside a small section of the map. Not a fan of that. But yeah, let's try. You know what? Since nandito tayo ngayon, let's collect this bag. I really love this mechanic right here, where you have to collect the bags because, we all know going into this game na this is a more experienced Peter Parker. He's been Spider-Man for several years now, and there will be like a ton of backstories to tell. Well, the game doesn't have to. It didn't. Not a lot. So basically, that's the positive of having a story like this in a game form, because you can explore those lores, those backstories about Peter Parker through this backpack mechanic. Ganito.
Never finished this application for the coffee bean. Would have paid more than what I'm doing now.
Really? Interesting. You see, it's those small lines, pero it adds a lot to his character, and it also adds a lot to the world of this Spider-Man game right here. It feels like the world is alive. Alam mong New York City exists. I mean, this New York City exists way before you started playing the game. And I love the fact that we got this 3D viewer thing so that we can look at the gamut itself. Oh, so 2014 siya nag-apply. Okay, interesting. That's pretty cool. Small details. I love small details like that. And one more thing that I really love about this game is the fact that you have just a lot of suit customization, right? Madami kang choices para makuha itong mga suit na to. And then I didn't know na it was a big deal for a lot of Spider-Man video game fans, because turns out in the previous video games you can collect suits. I know that you can do that in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 video game, pero hindi ako aware about that mechanic in other Spider-Man games that I played. I remember in the Spider-Man 3 video game na you can change your suit into the black suit at any time of the game. I also know that you can also change your suit in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 game. Pero just recently I found out, whenever you miss something, whenever you wanted to feel some kind of nostalgia, mag-YouTube lang ako and I'm going to search like the video game itself and just watch some person playing the game. I did that for Spider-Man to Enter Electro, and turns out that game has also several suits na you can unlock that you can let Spider-Man wear. I didn't know that. I wasn't aware of it. Most of the time, I was just playing the campaign, and I was also playing this VR training segment sa laro na yun. But yeah, look at the costumes here. They are very well designed. While I'm not the person who is going to play as this Spider-Man or this Spider-Man, I wanted to give Insomnia Games the props because we have a lot of these things to unlock and a lot of suit choices. And the best thing about this one is that kung ano sinuot mo, makikita mo din ito sa cutscenes, which is good because it means that the cutscenes are live. They are being rendered like real time compared to those cutscenes guys sa Assassin's Creed 3 kung saan may iba kang suot na costume pero pagdating sa cutscenes only like 2% of the costume is being rendered. And Assassin's Creed 3 people, you know what I'm talking about. Again, let's just choose this costume right here. The Tobey Maguire costume. This thing has a lot of controversy about it. I can still remember because I remember Spider-Man fans were sending death threats to the employees of Insomniac, which is something that, guys, stop doing that. And yeah, they were sending death threats para ilabas nila tong suit na to. Turns out, the people from Insomniac and maybe Sony, they were just trying to hide the fact that this suit is going to be available for free for every players. Tinatago lang nila to so that more people will play in the long run, and it's just a good surprise. Insomniac Games doesn't have to do this, but they still did it, so I am very thankful of that. And I also like this mechanic right here. So in this game you can take photos of landmarks, okay? And New York City is one of my favorite cities in America because I am most exposed to New York City compared to every other cities. Oh, nangyari? What? What? This is new. Well, this is my first time learning about it. I was explaining something and then I didn't know that this was a mechanic. So what are these people, like Kingpin apologist? Interesting. Wow.
I better be more careful with my adoring public.
Undercover fistas. Oh, I didn't know that's a thing. Okay, we discovered something by just idling and then talking about New York. Well, that's new. You see, let's just move on from New York. But dude, I've been playing this game for like many years now. It's a PS4, and then the fact that that feature, sorry, nadidistract ako dito. That feature is something that I haven't seen before. It's this one of those games that you keep on discovering something new after many years of playing it. And now I'm playing it on the PC, and that thing is something that surprised me. I like things like that. That's why I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the best open world games right there because of that thing. Whenever you play it, you will always discover something new. And yeah, let's talk about New York again. I like New York because that's the city that I was most exposed to, and the fact that you can take photos of these landmarks is good so that you're just aware of these landmarks right here, just in case na punta ako New York, right? At least whenever I'm walking around New York, I will notice the the landmarks na, ay, ito yung building na pinicturean ko when I was playing a Spider-Man game. And then, let's just try capturing a tower right here. So one of the other few Spider-Man games na nilalaro ko ay in the past is for the PlayStation 2, which is this official Spider-Man 1 game. Kung saan, it's an official movie game developed by Treyarch. And that was my first Spider-Man game for the PS2. I was simply astonished of how good that game looks. I can still remember na I was like, wow, ito naman itong mga building na to. Ang ganda ng graphics. It's very realistic. And even if you look at the game today, it can still look good. I think the graphics aged pretty well. And that game was like from 2002 or something. And yeah, that was a very fun time too. I especially love the stealth missions here, which reminded me a lot of the Spider-Man Enter Electro stealth mechanics there. And basically that's why I love the Spider-Man 1 official video game, is because it has the same gameplay DNA as Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro, just with better graphics. So let's help these people right here. Oops. Okay, let's start with this guy. Yun. So let's follow the compass at the left. Hello.
Think you forgot to give people your insurance info back there.
Now I know this gameplay na hinahabol mo yung sasakyan can get repetitive after a while, but it's just really fun to try chasing something while you're web swinging, right? It reminded me of that scene when Peter Parker started to web swing for the first time dun sa Spider-Man 1 na movie. And yeah, I've always wanted to do something like that in a video game. You can't do that in Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro and also in the official Spider-Man 1 game. But I was able to do it in Ultimate Spider-Man, which was super, super fun. Everything was super seamless. And I think that one didn't have a lot of like quick time events. So you know what? Let's just try doing a mission here. Gawin na natin itong mission na to. And again, the web swinging and everything like that. Everything is so fast paced, especially when you turn up the FOV. Everything is going much, much faster. Okay, it's Shocker again. Alright.
Herman, long time no see.
And I also love the fact that we have this high quality cutscenes in a Spider-Man video game. And that's why games being developed by first party studios is a plus.
Why are you doing this, Herman?
Because if I don't, they'll kill me.
Coming your way.
Even yung mga convo na yun, it's very good because while we're doing these kinds of fights, he's leaving something which is very significant to the story, which is the dragons and Mr. Negative.
Sorry, Herman. You brought this on yourself. Literally.
Man, poor Shocker, right? He's like always the sea level villain na like kinakalaban ni Spider-Man
Scared.
in the earlier parts of the game.
These demons are.
He's always like the first Spider-Man villain that you will fight in each Spider-Man game.
All yours now.
Good work. We have a special.
Let's change the costume right here. Itong costume na to ay simply looks beautiful during the night. Given, this costume, I mean, the Amazing Spider-Man 1 happened mostly during the nighttime. and everything about it looks very modern. It's very underrated, and even though people will call it like the basketball costume, it still it still looks great. It's a very good um, modern interpretation of the classic Spider-Man suit. You know what? Um, I simply love this game. I just can't wait for the next Spider-Man game na ilalabas sa PS5. For sure that I will get my only reason of getting a PlayStation 5 is to simply play the second Spider-Man game. And what I want about it is that, maybe better swinging mechanics. I think the current swinging mechanics right now is very fun. It's not repetitive, but it wouldn't hurt adding more animations to it, and hopefully it will feel more like physics based, just like the one in the Ultimate Spider-Man and also in Spider-Man 2. And hopefully we'll also get Andrew Garfield's The Amazing Spider-Man 2 costume, which is considered to be one of the most accurate live action Spider-Man costume out there.
Message.
And you know, I also wanted to see some kind of co-op gameplay. I strongly believe that we're going to get some kind of co-op mechanic in the next Spider-Man game. We got a taste of that in Spider-Man Miles Morales when he was trying to catch Rhino with Peter Parker's Spider-Man. And we'll see. Imagine just roaming around New York City, doing a race while web swinging. That is something that will be super new in a Spider-Man game, and I wanted to see something like that. And hopefully there will be like couch co-op instead of like relying to online multiplayer games like that. And yeah, I'm also very very excited seeing Venom finally in this universe right here, because I'm in love with all of the characters. Um, Especially, I'm really intrigued with how they're going to handle Harry Osborn. Harry Osborn's character here, because spoiler alert, Harry Osborn might become that game's Venom. We still don't know about it. Peter Parker did name drop Eddie Brock Jr.'s name when he was in Fist, so we don't know. We might see Eddie Brock there, or we might also see Harry Osborn as a Venom. Maybe we'll get two Venoms and both of them are teaming up. But Harry Osborn as Venom is something that probably nobody has done before. I'm not sure. I don't read all of the Spider-Man comics, but it's going to be a very interesting take for sure, because I trust Insomniac, and the story that they built here is very very good. I really really like it too. And yeah, that's my take to Spider-Man Remastered in general. I'm in love with the game. I will never get tired of the game. Even though 80% of the time I'm always taking photos of Spider-Man, because I'm also a huge fan of photography, and doing the photo mode in this game is just super fun. Basically unlimited Spider-Man wallpapers for everyone. And yeah, super excited about the next game. That's my little Spider-Man video game history that I was able to share to you guys. So what is your Spider-Man video game history? At ano ang favorite Spider-Man video game mo? Even way before this one that was released by Insomniac. And see you guys later. Subscribe to the Giga channel for more of these video game conversations in Taglish, English, Tagalog. And yeah, that's my take. Subscribe to the Giga channel for more of this content, and you guys take care. Goodbye.